Welcome to episode 3 of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. I'm Perry, the pothead picker, and yeah, let's start the show. So, fresh back from vacation, just took a family vacation to Maine, the state of Maine, and did some picking, as you will. So, picked up some stuff. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about revenge. No, not even revenge. It's not even revenge. I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Well, anyway. So yeah, back from vacation. I'll just talk about that first because it just happened. It's easy. Went to a few yard sales, but every fucking Saturday it has been rainy. It's been like, it says nice, and then Saturday rolls around and it's been fucking raining every weekend. I've still gotten some stuff, but like by this time last year I was like overwhelmed with stuff. This time this year I'm just like, I still have stuff that I've got to get to. I just started working on a bunch of Legos. Bought a Lego Creator. I think it's Lego Creator. It's like a roller coaster. It's an expert level Lego set. And so I bought it. It was $5. It's a big box. I got it at like this community yard sale. And I'm like, oh, $5. You know what I mean? I keep doing this to myself. I fucking hate Lego. But it's always sells. But it's just such a pain in the ass. Some people love it. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Everybody loves their own thing, so whatever. But I hate doing it. So, started going through this thing. It's like 1,000-something pieces, and there's like, that wouldn't be that bad. Plus, some of the bags are sealed. Like a lot of it looks like they just gave up. Like, they look like they opened 2 of the bags, and then they were like, fuck this, I'm done. So there's that in the box, and then there was Lego Friends. There's like 3 or 4 sets of that mixed in, so it's just kind of a pain in the ass. I'm already pretty much done, so I can't even say that. It took me like an hour. And like, it'll probably take like another 30 to 45 minutes to get it ready to sell. So I guess it's like 2 hours of work. I don't know why I'm bitching, but I just hate doing it. I do. It's not fun. Fucking. I get that fucking anxiety. It's like, I don't want to. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? What piece? Because like, there's so many pieces, and then when like, it's one thing if it's just all open, you're just counting the pieces, but when it's like some things are in bags. Oh man, it's just another level. It takes such a long time. But it is what it is. It's like a $350 set or something like that. So I'm going to sell it locally, and like, I don't know, the person can either count it or, we'll figure it out. But anyway, back to the family vacation. So did the family vacation thing. We do it every year. We rented this, Airbnb, this really nice house. So it was pretty sick. It was kind of just like off the beaten path, not really off the beaten path, but like, up a little ways away from where all the touristy stuff is. And one year we want to stay like right on the water, but I don't know. We've never done that. We usually stay like kind of near the water. Oh man. Sorry. Got a lot going on. So these podcasts are going to be like rushed for a little while just because I kind of have to get in where I fit in. I think I've said that before, but I can never remember. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we got there on Thursday, and like the first year that I went there, I guess I'll tell my bolo. I did we were leaving from our first trip, and I had found some decent stuff. I found like an old, like one of the not first version, but one of the earlier versions of Barbie. Found that, and I sold that for like $100. On this that was our first trip out there. And same trip, I found like a Harley jacket. I paid like 40 for it, but I sold it for like 150 or something. So I made some money, elsewhere. But when we were leaving, we are driving, and there's a thrift store, and my wife like didn't even ask. She just pulled in. And so like but by the time she had asked, I would have been, we would have been past it. So she just pulled in, and I went in, and I found like, there wasn't much there, but they had like 5 for $1 on stuffed animals. So it was like 20 cents a piece. And I found this doll, and it like sat in my death pile for like a month or something. And then I started looking it up, and I couldn't really find anything on it. I could find a little bit on it, but there wasn't much like for solds. The closest thing as far as value was like, there was an accessory for one of the dolls that sold for like $150. So I figured the doll with one of the accessories would have to sell for more than that. So I started it as an auction, and I started at like $150, and almost immediately I had somebody send me a message and say like, hey, would you take like $600 for this or something like that? And then I got an offer that came in for $1,000, like right off the bat. And I just like let it ride. And well, actually what had happened was I got, okay, sorry, I'm misremembering things. So I put it up for auction, $150. Immediately he sends me a message offering me $600. And then I got another message offering me $1,000, but somebody had already had bid the $150. So these people basically wanted me to cancel it and sell it to them for their offer. So I just let it ride for auction, and it ended up selling for $1,275. And yeah, it was a kind of a plush vinyl. So I'm going to tell you the name, but I'm building up to it. And this doll sold for $1,275, and it's super rare, and it just, I don't know, it just caught my eye. I still have a screenshot of the sold. I posted it. I wish I had posted it on my Instagram, but I wasn't really active on my Instagram. But I posted it in like Facebook groups asking for like advice on what it was initially or something like that. I can't remember why I posted it. Maybe just 'cause I was just trying to brag, probably. And I don't always post shit like that all the time, but this was so crazy that I had to post it. And so yeah, 20 cents into about $1,000 after fees. And yeah, on top of the other stuff. So it was a really good trip. So then the second year, I can't even remember what I found last year. Which kind of tells you. This year I found a few things, but I ended up going to the bins for the first time. I've never been to the bins. I was reading reviews for it because it was like Sunday, and the yard sales on Saturday were rained out. It was a bust. So I found like a couple of sales, and like an idiot, I was super tired. So like I didn't check before I left. And so I went to the bins. I woke up, and I wasn't even going to go, but I woke up early because I went to bed super early. It's our vacation, you know what I mean? You go hard, we were drinking and stuff. Like, obviously we have kids, so we're not like getting like hammered drunk, but would drink, a beer with our dinner, and then go home, have a beer, like after we put the kids to bed. And whenever you drink and then take a break from drinking and then like drink again, it's just, you fall asleep. I get tired. And so I went to bed early, woke up early. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go try out the bins. I've never tried this before. Like, I want to see what it's all about. I've never been this close to one. I kept forgetting that it had existed. And so I decided to, take a trip. The family was sleeping. So I was like, I can get there and get home basically just after everybody wakes up. And so drive out there, and I was reading the reviews, and it was like, you got to get there a half hour early, blah, blah, blah. Or I got there a half hour early, and there was like 40 people in line. So I was like, oh shit, is it going to be worth it? Because I got there like 20 minutes before they opened. But there was only like 12 people ahead of me. And so I got there, actually it was like 15 minutes. And then, yeah, I mean, I went in, I didn't get shit. There was a lot of junk. And like, you could tell a lot of people go there all the time. It was my first time, so I just I got excited because I found a Nirvana t-shirt with tags. Not with the tags, like with a tag on it. So I was like, oh shit, I looked real quick, but like, you're trying to fucking dig through shit. Everybody's running around. And so you're looking, and it's like, I thought it said 2001. Then I got it back, and it said 2021. It was like an H&M shirt. And so, yeah, that was, basically everything I got was like, essentially bullshit. So, actually, no, that's not true. I found a Littlest Pet Shop figure. It was like a little kitty cat. And I found it like at the bottom of one of the bins. And I always pick those things up just because when I get enough of them, I'll sell them in a lot, and they sell instantly. And then I check for rare ones, because some of them go for some good money. And so this one was like a cat, and I Google lensed it. It's probably like a 50 to 60. There's one listed right now for like 75, and then a few more that have like accessories and stuff for more than that. So if I go like 50 or 60, I can probably sell it pretty quickly. But yeah, there was a few that sold for 130, just the way they had it. So I don't know if that's realistic or not. I always try to set my expectations low. I'll start high. But so yeah, I found that was pretty dope. All the other stuff sucked. And then we found but that was like Sunday. On Saturday we just kind of were out doing yard sales. So I went in the morning, and then it started raining, and I picked my family up. So we kind of drove around to ones that were still doing them. And yeah, we were a little bit later, so I found a couple of small things. Nothing crazy. Like, I didn't strike out. I found some stuff that I can trade, and stuff, for flip_the_table at Instagram. I can give some board games to him that I found. So, yeah. Now I'm just fitting in a podcast before I have to do a quick workout before I make dinner. And then I have to do some listing. Should take some pictures. I found a Scooby-Doo plush that's like from Six Flags. It's got the tag. And I couldn't find anything about it. I couldn't find another one listed or sold. Sorry, I'm not trying to do like ASMR, but my throat was hella dry. And so none listed, none sold. So I don't know. It's like Scooby-Doo in a superhero outfit. It's from Six Flags, and it's a plush. Brand new with tags. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta what I usually do with stuff like that is I'll set the comps, or I'll set it to like the highest comps, whatever the highest comps are, and then just continue to lower it. But when I first started reselling, I lived in a place where I used to, I don't know if it's just that like more people are onto it, or if it's like that the new algorithm sucks, but like I used to find stuff all the time on Marketplace. When I first lived in when I lived in Washington, it was like a small place in East Bumfuck, Washington, and I would find stuff all the time. And there was this lady who, she was selling a Scooby-Doo collection, and she had it listed for like $50. So I sent her a message. I was like, would you take 30? And she's like, yeah. So I went and met her and bought all this Scooby-Doo shit. I had, like, when I tell you I bought a Scooby-Doo collection, it was like a Scooby-Doo collection, a huge one. So a lot of it was in good condition, but a lot of it was in suspect condition. There was some stuff that was worth some good money. There was like one that was like a Ken doll that was shaggy. The box was fucked up. I had to clean them up a bit. I ended up finding like 2 bottles, little full alcohol bottles inside the box. And so yeah, that basically paid for, everything right there. But I ended up selling it for like $60 in the condition that it was in. And yeah, I had a bunch of shit that was like just Scooby-Doo everything. Like, I probably would have asked the lady more about it like now, but that was like when I was first starting out. And yeah, I mean, I made my money back real quick. And that was one of the first like big purchases I made. I didn't like, obviously it wasn't a big financial purchase at $30. It's, it's a low, very low risk purchase. Most of the stuff was vintage. And so, Scooby-Doo is kind of an oversaturated market. So a lot of the shit was like low value. But they were, like I said, yeah, a lot of it was, there was some like vintage bobbleheads that like, again, if the condition was better, like I sold one and it got returned and that was kind of shitty, but what are you going to do? And, yeah, there was like all types of shit. But yeah, and then even when I moved out here, like I used to find more things all the time. And I don't know if it was just because I had more time to check it, but like I check it kind of regularly, and occasionally I get lucky, but yeah, I used to score stuff all the time. And it just doesn't feel like it's even worth it to have. I mean, at this point, it's just all it has is like the yard sales and stuff. And most of the time they post those other places as well, but I don't know. It used to be a lot easier to find stuff on there. But I find shit all the time. I like have a couple leads on some stuff. I met this lady and I had my kid with me, like the youngest. It's like 7 months, almost 8 months. And I asked the lady if she had any t-shirts because I found like a single stitch t-shirt. And she's like, any old t-shirts. And she's like, yeah, I've got like, when I tell you I have like 500, I've got like 500. And so she's like, yeah, I've got it in the attic. And she's like, you can dig it out if you want to. And I had the baby with me, of course, you know what I mean? So I was like, I can, set up a time. But she didn't want me to go in there at that point anyway. I probably, if I didn't have the kid, I could have got in there. And so I've been talking to her about, figuring out a price. And I got to come see what she's got. And I'm going to go dig it out of her attic. So, yeah, hopefully it works out. I'm hoping I didn't mess that up. You always want to close the day of. Like, that was like the number one thing in sales. It's like if they walk out the door, the chances of them buying that shit from you, it just goes down like exponentially. It's the same with purchasing shit. It's like if you walk away without purchasing it, it's like, somebody else just by chance figures out that they have something and, she was probably going to donate them or put them in a yard sale anyway. So I'm hoping that she's reasonable with her prices. We'll see. I'll gladly, pay up a little bit depending on what she's got. But I'll end up, trading some of it. And so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping. And then there's another lady that's like, I was headed to their sale because I had met them at this other yard sale, and she was like, oh, we're actually having our own estate sale later at a different location. And so she gave me the address and I was heading there, and then she called me to tell me because of the rain that they weren't going to do it, but that she would like give me first dibs on all the stuff that she has. And she says she has like vintage toys, old stuff, so I'm hopeful on that. I don't know if I talked about the VCR that I got. Oh yeah, I did, about that sold. So the lady who almost cut it. So it's sold for $350. I'm still like leery that it's gonna get returned. I'm still like just clenching my butthole and hoping that shit does not come up as a return. But who knows? I'm hopeful. I put a video in, and you can't do it on the phone, which is kind of annoying. But if you go to the mobile app on the phone, or the mobile website on the phone, you can upload a video. So if you use the app and you don't know that, you can do that. That's a thing. But yeah, I don't remember what the fuck else I was talking about. So, oh yeah, so as you know, like, I don't like the people that leave the yard sale signs out. I think I've talked about this the last 2 weeks. I'm going to continue to talk about it. We can talk about different punishments that these people should have to endure. It can be fun. Obviously, we're not going to do this to these people. It's just a fun little joke. But that sounded really psychotic. But I really am joking. It just pisses me off because I followed a couple signs when I was in Maine and wasted time looking for yard sales because you don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, especially if it's a weekend and you see a sign and it's like there's no date on it, but it looks like a fresh sign, and you go. There's a couple that were suspect and were like there were actual sales, but there was a few times that I followed these signs and there was no sale. And out there it's like there's no service, so then if you have to figure out where the fuck you're going, and because I usually try to put the address in so I don't get lost. But yeah, it pisses me off when people leave signs out, and there needs to be a task force. Like you could pay for so many things if you just started finding people, because it's like two things. It's like false advertising, so you find them for that, and then you find them for littering because you're just leaving your trash out. And yeah, and then you just put that money back into, I mean, let's be honest, it's going to go to like some corrupt bullshit. We're not going to see that money, but it would make my life easier, and it would keep real bad people off the streets, because people who leave up their yard sale signs after the sale are the worst kind of people. Hold on a second. I'm ranting about yard sale people. How they're the worst people.
Yard sale people are the worst people?
No, the people that leave their signs up.
Oh.
After the... Yeah.
Get 'em.
Are you putting her up to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know if I'm too loud.
She's just watching Iowa.
That's what I figured. Alright, love you. So anyway, yeah, these people are the worst kind of people. You don't want them in your life. Followed a couple of them. Yeah. So I found out the reason I brought that up is because, well, I won't go into details too. I was talking about that with Mike because I bring it up often, and I was talking to my wife about how I was like, I just basically was spitballing a punishment, and it was something about like I don't remember. It was really fucked up though, and my wife just was like, she was pretty much appalled. She laughed, but she was appalled. And so in the spirit of that, I found out that you can get somebody's Facebook account closed. You just like have to say that they're deceased, and it's like super easy to do. And it's a pain in the ass, and you have to like go through it. I don't even know how I found it out, but I had thought about because I like, you see people who like get a bunch of free shit on like those buy nothing groups, and it's always like the same people, and so you're just like, man, I wish I could get their Facebook account closed. And apparently there's a way to do it. You just have to say that they died, which is really fucked up. And I'm like, I was like, damn, I don't think I would go that far. Like, that's way too far. But if you had to, you know, just if you had to. So when I don't buy a lot of storage units, but occasionally I will, you know, I do look regularly. I try to get ones that are smaller, so I don't have to, you know what I mean? Because I don't have a ton of space or a ton of time, and so I can bang them out really quick and then, you know, go back to whatever it is I was doing. But so I'll do them on occasion, you know what I mean? And so I can't remember how it came up, but my wife started calling me Dusty Bins because I kept saying like, oh, you want to buy a storage unit with dusty bins, you know what I mean? You don't know, because one, it's like, if it's dusty, it's old, and two, if it's in bins, you know, it's like in decent condition. Maybe that doesn't always turn out to be true. I bought a storage unit with dusty bins, and it was like filled with DVDs, which can be good, but these ones, this chick decided to write her first initial on every single goddamn disc. So, you know, and then like a lot of them were like, I don't know, like they might have gotten wet or something and then dried out, and it smelled kind of musty. And so then, like, you know, I basically had to sell most of those at yard sale. And yeah, I sold them cheap. So dusty bins aren't always, you know, the best source of inventory, but you never know. Those are usually what I'll take the chance on. It also sounds like the name of like a porn star, like Dusty Bins. They could do like yard sales themed porn. I don't think that's a lane. Just have like somebody paying for their used clothing and video games with sex, you know. I've occasionally you see hot people when you're doing the art selling, like, you know what I mean? You see like, you know, hot girls and guys. I'm just joking. Anyway, I really just spaced out, I'm not gonna lie. So I know a lot of people, like especially on like the YouTube people, they'd like to like get lemonade from the kids' stands, and I've gotten lemonade occasionally, you know what I mean? I don't do it often. I really don't. Because usually the lemonade's fucking terrible. Like, if my kid's doing a lemonade stand, it's gonna be like shit that it's gonna have good presentation, and it's gonna be like, all right, you're gonna want to buy this lemonade. It's gonna be an experience. You know what I mean? Can have a little speakeasy, do like mimosas on the low. You know what I mean? For a couple extra bucks. Who doesn't want lemonade mimosas while they're yard sailing? I mean, come on. I want lemonade mimosas right now. But that being said, there was one that I went to, and I don't remember where it was. I wanted to put down, it'd be creepy, just put down, like, right down the house of where these kids had this lemonade stand. But it was like the best lemonade, and then they had this pastry. I don't even know what it was. It was like a hybrid cookie muffin thing. Bread, I don't know what the fuck it was. It was sweet, and it was just really good. and tea bread maybe. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was really good. And yeah, I just nothing can compare to that. And it's, yeah, I just don't like. Plus, I don't usually like eat or drink anything except for water before like noon. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like buy a lemonade, then I have to dump it out. It's just, yeah. So I honestly, like, I think there's like a Michael Jordan meme or something like that where he's like, fuck them kids. That's like where I stand as far as like kids selling lemonade. Is I'm like, fuck them kids. I appreciate the hustle. But yeah, like, it's, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. You know, unless I go to that house and I remember, because I'll remember. It was like close to my house. It wasn't very far. But yeah, it was so good. I don't even know if it was homemade. Like, I almost went back that day to ask them for either the recipe or like, because that shit was so good. So good. Yeah, damn. We had a good vacation. We did like the beach. We did the beach like right when we got there. Got it out of the way, because the beach when you have kids is like, it's not a relaxing day. You're just constantly up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like playing in the sand. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's not like, it's not a relaxing day. So it was cool to like get there and just get it done, get it over with, have fun. Because by like the last day you're exhausted too. So it's like, and dragging 2 kids, you just have like, everywhere you go you have a ton of shit. You just have so much shit because you've just got like this fucking band of gypsies that like need your money and your attention and your resources like 24/7. So, but it is fun. It's just a lot of work. A lot of fucking work. And yeah, so then we did that, and then we went to like the zoo. It was pretty hot that day. And like it was kind of a sorry zoo. Most zoos are sorry zoos. Like, you're just like, man, you just feel kind of bad for the animals. And this one was like a hybrid zoo / amusement. There's like amusement park rides. So this was my first year my daughter was old enough to start going on rides. She's big enough and stuff. And so she was all about that. She thought that was a lot of fun. So we did that. And then, yeah, there was a few different sales. There was a flea market I found. I had to get like a Ninja Turtle toy just for myself. It was a Michelangelo. It was almost like a vacation Mike. He was like dressed in swim gear and shit. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like $2. And then I didn't have a second dollar, so he gave it to me for $1. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I went to this flea market. So that was an interesting one. But yeah, didn't find a ton of stuff. Found some Osborne's toys, like Ozzy Osbourne, but from like the show. So there weren't any like listed. They're pretty beat to shit. Like the boxes are really bad. Ozzy's not that bad, but he doesn't talk, so I don't know if it's like corrosion and stuff. So obviously I can't sell any of them as new, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do them in lots or not. I'll probably sell them individually as like much as I can. But there was like 6 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them. Yeah, 6 of them. There's 3 and 3 different types of them. 3 talking, 3 non-talking. So that was cool. Cool score. Cool. got 4th of July coming up. I don't know what everybody else does. I used to live like on a lake, and they used to set off fireworks around the lake. It was cool, but then like the next day all the shit was in the water, and I didn't swim in that lake too much. I just didn't trust it. It wasn't disgusting. There was like, it was like in the East Bumfuck, so like there was like nice houses and then like, you know, not so nice houses. Like our neighbors, like we had a nice house, and our neighbors were just like these fucking creeps. Like just yeah. They would always try to talk to you whenever you would walk in, and like I could never understand them. Like they were chill to me, but they made my wife really uncomfortable. And I remember like when we first moved in, they had this fucking turtle, like holding it. It was like a snapping turtle. I don't even know if it was a snapping turtle, but like the lady kept holding her. I don't think it was a snapping turtle, but it still was like a turtle that like could possibly bite. The lady's like holding it, like pointing at it, like, and she's like, "Is this your turtle?" I'm like, "No." And we lived on a lake, so I'm like, "No, like it looks like it belongs in the lake." So she's like, "Oh, I just didn't know if it was yours. This thing was huge." I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "I just didn't know if it was your turtle." Like, probably is from the lake. Probably came, you know what I mean? Like, so they went and hopefully put it back in the lake. Who knows what they did with it? Probably just put it back in their yard. But yeah. Well, I guess I have to be done with the podcast. I'll be back again. This is the 3rd episode, so I should be releasing them soon. I'm kind of building a little backlog, but I gotta finish up because I gotta go try to put my kid down for a nap. So, peace. Alright, so this is kind of like a part 3 or part 2 to episode 3, because I got cut off. I was in the middle of a bunch of shit, so I feel like the middle of that episode just kind of got sidetracked, and it just wasn't great stuff. I mean, it might have been, I don't know. It was a couple days ago, but I figured I only did like 36 minutes, so I figured I'd try to do like another 24 minutes. It's a couple days later. It's a Friday, so my kid is at school, and my youngest is taking a nap, and my wife is working. So hopefully, my kid just went down like couple minutes ago, so I should hopefully at least get 24 minutes to finish up episode 3. So since then I had my first bin. I already said that I had my first bins experience earlier in this episode, but there was this came up out of nowhere. Like last night, like at 8 or 9 o'clock, somebody had posted that they are opening a bins store, and it was about 30 minutes away from me. And of course, like with all the construction and road work and other bullshit that they're doing around the area, it added like another almost 10 minutes. So like last night I'm like, oh, it's a 30-minute ride. Get in the car and start going. Oh, it's almost 40 minutes now. So a little far away, but I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll go check it out. There's no sales today. I don't know about you, but where I'm at, there's Friday estate sales, but like people just don't do Friday sales. I mean, occasionally they'll pop up, but they're never great. I mean, sometimes they're decent, you know what I mean? Like there was one a couple weeks ago that I had talked about stopping at that just was a surprise sale on a Friday. So it happens, but just generally in this area, they don't do Friday sales. And where I've lived in other places, and Friday sales were just, it was awesome because you'd hit the Friday sales and then they would have Saturday, Sunday sales. So you'd get like 3 days of sales, and it was just constant. But out here, Friday is just like, I've just kind of gotten used to the fact that Friday is going to be either a podcasting day, or I've got to pack up some orders and get them out and shit. And then because I hate shipping on Saturday. I try to get as much time out sourcing on Saturday because I don't go out often. You know what I mean? I'll check on Facebook and all that shit, but I don't get out often to like source. Like some people go almost every day, which is cool. Like I would love to do that, but right now I just can't. I'll do that when I'm older. My kids are older and they don't want anything to do with me. You know what I mean? I'll be the sad guy at the bins, fucking digging through people's fucking bullshit. But anyway, so the bins. Back to the bins. It's I get there like I wanted to get there like a half hour early. I'm glad I didn't. But I got there and there weren't that many people there. There was like probably 10 to 15 people. But then like more people started showing up as it got closer. I got there like 12 minutes before they were opening. So they opened up like right at 10. And the lady should have explained some shit, you know what I mean? Because it was a grand opening. It's not something that we have in the area. So if you're just like a brand, like there was people with kids and like there's somebody who brought a stroller in there, which is fine. But like this place is, I'll get to it in a minute, but there was no room. So I'm like standing outside. There's like, people with a stroller. There's, all different types of people. And so they open it up and just basically it's like a free for all, which is kind of what the bins are. But like if you're doing a grand opening, you have a bunch of people coming in right at one time. It's one thing if people are trickling in, but you've got a big line outside, and she should have like explained like, hey, this is the deal. Like, because there was people just like that didn't know what to think. Like they were just so confused. There's one person that's like, I don't want to, like, there's a pregnant woman over there. There's a woman with kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm afraid to hit anybody and, be in people's space and blah, blah, blah. And you couldn't move in this place. Like it was supposed to all work in one way, but they just like, she didn't explain anything. And so like, it just was, and they had like those shopping baskets that you hold, and that's what they were having people put their stuff in. And so like it was just so hard to maneuver around there. I got a couple things, but it was just, I only spent like $10, but it was, man, there was no room. Like the last place I did it, there was a lot of space. There was like, it was almost like a warehouse, and you went in, this was just like a small storefront, and in the middle was like all the clothes. And like I dug through the clothes for a minute, but I wasn't finding shit. It was just kind of like, I don't know. I might have been in the wrong spot for the clothes, but I got a few stuffed plushes, but like nothing crazy. Like I have a feeling they probably picked through all the good shit. And then like, cause they had like cool posters on the wall. I'm like, are those for sale? They're like, no. So like all the cool shit that's like, was worth some money was like off limits. So I have to imagine that they just are probably going to fill that thing with bullshit, and it's probably not going to do well, but it might. Who knows? I mean, people were buying shit. Might have just been from the excitement. They had a ton of shit. I'm assuming they probably just empty storage units, and then that's like the way to get rid of it. But man, there is no fucking room. There was like the clothes on top, stuff that, people are picking through on top, the bins on top, and then on the bottom they had stuff. So it was like you had to like pull shit out. Like I had to pull this whole big bin of cassettes out, and I started looking through it. It's all mostly bullshit. Like I found one or two decent things, and then like they just had shit under every single place. Like it was just, this place was packed with shit, and you were basically elbow to elbow. Like you couldn't fucking move. I was starting to get towards the end, I was like, oh, at first it wasn't phasing me, but I wasn't finding shit. And I'm like, I'm just digging through junk, and like, I'm like, I just at a certain point, and you couldn't move. I'm like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. So I just finished up and was only in there for like 20 to 25 minutes. I'm sure if it wasn't too busy, it'd be cool. But man, that place, I'm assuming it's going to be busy for a little bit, but who knows? If you go in the middle of the day, it might not be so bad. But like I said, I had to travel quite a bit to get there. So I probably wouldn't do it again unless I'm in the area. But that's just me. So it was an interesting experience, of course. But yeah, the lady who's like worried about other people, it's like, man, the bins shouldn't be for everybody, especially if it's like this. Like, it's fucking blood sport in there. You're just basically like one wrong move away from beating the shit out of somebody with some used fucking decor or some shit. So, but hey, it's always, like I said, I got bins twice in 1 week, and I think I'm good for a little while. Like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. But I feel like the success rate, like especially in the like that place where they're probably picking the stuff that they want, it's just you'd have to probably get in good with them, and then like if they even, a lot of times these places pop up and then they're gone. Like there were so many thrift stores of people you could tell were trying to fill it with shit that they got from storage units, and by the pound is a good way to do it. But you got to account for the fact that like a lot of the shit that you have is going to be junk, and it's just going to sit there, and then you have to figure out how to get rid of that shit. And so it's a lot of work, and we'll see if it stays around. I hope it does, but I probably won't be going back just because of how far away it was. So I found my first, I don't know if I talked about this yet today, but I found a fake hat. It was like a fake New Era hat. I didn't even realize that I probably should have known that they fake everything, but I buy New Era stuff all the time. And like as soon as I took one look at, like I grabbed it because it had a cool logo and stuff, like the hat, the design was cool. And I think I paid like 50 cents for it. And so I, threw it in a bag, and I just didn't even look until I got back. I got it on my trip, my vacation. And I was going through it, and I look, and I'm like, this is like fake as shit. You could tell it was fake. It just, the stitching was all off, like completely 100% stitch. Like I've never looked at something and been so sure of my life. A lot of times when I see a fake, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of hard to tell. But this was really bad. So I'll probably just end up sticking that in my yard sale pile. I don't know if anybody's going to want that. I don't think you can even sell that on eBay. It's like completely fake. So I just throw it in the yard sale pile, and somebody will buy it and then throw it in like a flea market, and somebody will buy it for themselves eventually and not care that it's completely, like if you just like took some scissors to all the stitching parts, but you could probably clean it up and make it passable. But yeah, as soon as I looked at that thing, I was like, this is fake as fuck. It was just really bad, horrible stitching all the way around. And it was like it didn't say 59.50 either. It said like it said some shit that's like a made up slogan that I don't think exists in the New Era world. So yeah, Friday, it's July 4th this weekend. We were supposed to go to a party, but the party got canceled. It's another Saturday of rain. It's supposed to rain. I don't know if it's still going to rain. It was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. There's like crackling in this thing. But yeah, this summer has just been every Saturday. I've talked about it a little bit earlier, I think. If not, but if I did, I'm sorry for bringing it up again. But I'm just looking at the weather again for tomorrow. It's just not looking 100%, and so then people aren't like, they're scared to have a sale. So I'm hoping that like after this weekend there's just a boom of yard sales. Of course, the 3-weekend stretch that my wife was off, which makes it easier for me to go, I can go because we got the 2 kids, so it's harder for me to go to yard sales with usually the toddler goes next door to my mom's, and then I take the younger one. Plus, she gets me into early sales early. The church ladies love her, and they usually let her in early, So, yeah. So, I really hope it doesn't fucking rain, and I hope that there's like at least some pop-up sales, and I hope I get like something really good. I haven't found a collection or like, a sizable amount of. I've found like shitty little DSIs, and I did have a decent video game haul a couple weeks ago, so I can't really complain. That was at like a little yard sale that was indoor yard sale that I I waited for because there wasn't really shit else going on because again it was raining, and so I decided something about it. I said to wait, and that's why I'm working on that stupid fucking Lego thing that I was talking about earlier. That's roller coaster set, expert set. Man, that thing's driving me fucking crazy. Almost done, but like it had the 3 sets, those 3 friendship whatever, the Lego Friends sets were just mixed in. And yeah, that shit's just, it's kind of easy to tell what's what, but it's just, you don't want to fuck it up. So I'll just do local and hope for the best. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen with it. And yeah, I'm still playing Breath of the Wild. I don't think I've talked about that today. It's just consuming my life. No, it's not that bad. But I play for like a couple minutes before bed. You know, the days my wife works, I'll play after she goes to bed. And I've been I'll fall asleep like 10, 15 minutes in. Because it's a good game, but there's a lot of parts where you have to like scroll through while they're reading. And it'll say, you know, the story. And I'll just fall asleep like when people are talking to me. Because it's a lot. So I don't get a ton of time to play, and I try to list at night, and I just get so tired. Sometimes I can do it. Sometimes when I'm not feeling too tired, I'll list instead of play Zelda. I keep saying I know, I'm sorry. I don't usually say that shit that much, but when you're talking to yourself, it's hard to, because I'm basically thinking, and when I'm thinking, I say I don't really do it when I'm speaking to another adult. But when I'm speaking to myself, I feel like I say it a lot, and I'm going to try not to. But, yeah, apologize for that. What else is new? So, I'm still considering... I've got so many comic books and trading cards that I'm still considering whatnot. But I feel like I don't have the time to commit to that. And, I just wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. I found a few different... so I don't know. Oh, I did talk about that, motherfucker. Yeah, it was only just a couple days ago, huh? Alright, never mind. I won't talk about that then. How much time have I done here? 14 minutes. So I want to try to do like 10 more minutes, I guess. That would be like just about an hour. So what could I talk about for 10 more minutes? My wife keeps fucking texting me. Should probably look and see what it says. But I'm in the middle of something, so yeah, no, it's just about my kids sleeping. We were trying to get her to figure out it's crazy when you try to like get kids to learn how to sleep. You basically have to teach them how to sleep, which I never realized that until I had kids. Obviously, you're just like, oh, you just know how to sleep, but you have to teach them how to fucking sleep. So my oldest she hated sleep. She's still not. She doesn't nap anymore. She napped yesterday or some shit randomly, and then she went to bed early. Usually when she naps, she stays up later, and it's a whole big pain in the ass thing. But if she gets enough, outdoor time, if it's raining, usually forget it. You're not going to get a nap, even though you would assume that the rainy day you'd want to sleep. But she's not getting as much outside activity when it's raining. And so it's just a process. So with her, we just took forever trying to get, not necessarily forever, but it was like once it was like she was pretty quick with it. But this one, it's just, she does everything on her own time. She came late. Like, she was supposed to come in October, and she came November 1st. So my wife was super pregnant, miserable, and she just likes to take her time with everything. And so sleeping, she just started putting herself to sleep. I don't know. I mean, maybe we should have tried harder to let herself try to put herself to sleep. I don't know. But it's just a whole thing. You got to relearn how to teach somebody how to sleep, and it's just while not sleeping as much yourself. So, I mean, my wife gets up mostly in the middle of the night. Occasionally she'll be like, I can't really do it right now, just do it. And I'll get up. But I can't really fall back to sleep once I get up. So she knows that. So she lets me usually sleep, because once I'm up, that's it, I'm done. So if I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, then I have to get up with the kids, because I need stay at home dad bullshit. So, it is what it is. It's we're getting there. Oh shit, that hurt. We were picking my toes like a fucking savage. So yeah, this weekend, 4th of July, my town doesn't do fireworks anymore, so we got to go to like the next town over. And 4th of July is on what, Tuesday? So that's pretty dope. I know a few people, like my buddies got like Monday and Tuesday off. All the people with regular jobs who aren't stay-at-home dads and resellers. God damn, why the fuck doesn't I keep getting like text messages or something. I keep making this thing crackle. I'm not that popular, it's just my wife, but with nonsense, it's not nonsense. It's kid stuff, but it's not an emergency, so it's technically nonsense. I have this ColecoVision. I just looked at it, and I'm like, I can't get it to play on the screen. And I used to have a perfect TV that like worked really well with the older consoles, and we got rid of it. It was the one in the basement just because we didn't have room for it, because it's a heavy ass flat screen. And so I hate selling stuff as like for parts if it like still works. So I ordered a game off eBay, tried to test it, it didn't work. And then I found another game that I had just randomly that I had picked up. And so I tried that one and it didn't work. So I'm like, is it the games? Is it like the hookup? So I'm just sitting here looking at this fucking thing and I hate, it's the only part of video game selling that I don't like is when you're trying to test shit and you're like, oh, you're not 100% sure if it's not working. So then it just sits there and you just stare at it. Because I'm always in the middle of testing something. Like I always have video games that come in. As soon as I get them all tested, then I have more video games that come in. That's primarily what I look for. So whenever I get the chance to bring a bunch in, it's gotten crazy competitive, which is wild because the market's kind of cooled off on them. Like I still sell a lot of video games, but I've definitely had to take less than what they've sold for in the past on certain games. But I just though kind of I got lucky because I get a lot of like the Wii Sports and shit, and that stuff just kind of keeps your store moving. Because a lot of people just pass those games up. I'm all over the place this episode. I apologize. I'm just gonna kind of have verbal diarrhea about my reselling bullshit. I've thought about changing the name from roughly related to reselling to like ranting about reselling or rambling about reselling, but I think roughly related to reselling is probably the best bet. It probably has the best catchiness to it. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I've done close to enough time. And I gotta work on some other shit. And there's a dog barking outside, so I gotta go make sure that fucker doesn't wake up my kid. Anyway, happy 4th. This will come out way after the 4th. I don't know why I even fucking bothered saying that. There's no way. My goal this weekend, 4th of July weekend, is like Sunday. I'm hoping that I'll have some time to edit some of these podcasts and I can start putting these out. So I've got 3 recorded as of the end of this podcast. So I don't know when I'm going to record the next one. I might try to have like maybe my wife do the next one with me. She's not a reseller, but she's kind of obviously allowed me to be a reseller, and it's funny how her idea of like when I first started reselling, she like completely didn't know what to think, and now she's not all about, I mean she's all about it, but there's things that annoy her about it, but she's mostly supportive of reselling. She just wishes she could do it more, but we're just so busy that she kind of helps on some stuff with it. Like if I need Legos sorted or something, although she hasn't helped me with this big ass fucking Lego roller coaster. But alright, I should get to packing up some orders. See you next week. Peace.